right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for session one, how to make social media work for you. You've picked the best session. I'm kidding. They're all great. So joining us, speaking to you all today, are Paula Yuspa Abbott and Courtney Moberly. Paula is the president of Top of Mind PR. She possesses a detailed understanding of legal, real estate, and financial markets. Her comprehension of current media industry trends and her professional connections enables her clients to gain a competitive edge in strategic media opportunities. A bicultural and bilingual background enables Yuspa Abbott to develop relationships with newsrooms and social media outlets throughout the Spanish-speaking media market. An award-winning journalist, Yuspa Abbott has written for the Daily Business Review, South Florida Sun Sentinel, Miami Herald, and Miami Today, among many others. And Courtney Moberly is also part of the Top of Mind PR team. She's a PR professional specializing in social media content curation and strategy, website creation and maintenance, blog writing, and AP-style editing. Since joining the team, Moberly has gained valuable experience in account management, media initiatives, digital marketing, and more. Previously, she worked at the Pillars Hotel in Fort Lauderdale, where she managed a campaign that resulted in the hotel being ranked #2 overall in Condé Nast's Reader's Choice Awards. Moberly also serves as president of the Greater Miami Area Alumni Chapter of Gamma Phi Beta Sorority, and she graduated from the University of Florida with a bachelor's degree in PR and a concentration in business management. We won't hold that degree against you, Courtney. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this session. We're going to be presenting on how to make social media work for you. So as Leo said, my name is Courtney. I am the digital marketing leader for Top of Mind. Most of my job is handling social media behind the scenes, digital marketing campaigns, so e-blasts, things of that nature. Our department also handles graphic design, advertising, website development, and more. And then I'm happy to introduce you to my colleague, Paula.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, everybody, for taking a Saturday morning to be here. That tells a lot of good things about you already. You're driven. So I'm a graduate from FIU. I graduated in 2000 and with a degree in print journalism. And I was a reporter for 15 years. And about 5 years ago, I decided to start my own business. So I transitioned from journalism into public relations. And my company grew. I have several full-timers, part-timers. I hire freelancers. Not only in the US, but also in Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, because that's where some of our clients are located. So as you can imagine, a big part of my job is to hire people. So, I thought today was a good opportunity to share some tips in terms of me as an employer, and many other employers are looking for when making a decision. One of the things that we spend a lot of time nowadays is going through potential employees' social media. And the reason is because, we get tons of resumes all the time, and they all tend to look the same background, college graduate with 1 or 2 internships, or they had a previous job. So, okay, but so we're trying to figure out what is going to make one person different from the other one. So we go to their social media, and we try to look for, their level of creativity, how creative have they been with their posts. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook. Hopefully some of you have LinkedIn. We like to, especially we look at the writing skills. Writing is extremely important in the business world, right? Because when I hire somebody, that person is going to be sending emails to my clients. So I want to make sure that that person can write really well when sending emails to my clients, because that is the image of the company. So if I go to your Facebook and I see that some of the posts have like typos, or it looks a little bit sloppy, the writing, even if it is like 2 sentences, or the sentences are not put together in the right way, then I'm just gonna say, this person look like has a great resume, but no, thank you. Consistency, we want to make sure that, we like our team members. I don't like to call employees because they're really team members, that they're consistent in the quality of work they deliver, right? So because I don't know you, I'm going to try to find a way to figure out if you're going to be consistent in the work that you produce. So I go to your Facebook, and if I see that you're like posting regularly, maybe, once a week, or even if it is twice a month, I see a consistency. But if I see that you were like posting like crazy, then you stop for a month, now you start posting again like crazy, then you stop, it's like, okay, something maybe not right. So overall, we're just trying to figure out your personality, right? Because a piece of paper, your resume, you can glorify your resume, right? So the way that I have to figure out what is true, what is not true, or if you would be a good fit, is by trying to figure out your personality through social media. So how your social media can stand out. And this is specifically professional. Right now we're talking about, I'm looking for a job. So let's talk about LinkedIn. If you don't have an account today, you have to open a LinkedIn account. It's extremely important. That's where employers are. That's where you're going to find us, because we are on LinkedIn looking at the news, reading industry news, checking out our competitors, and also trying to figure out and look for potential team members. Maybe a company has somebody that I like, so I like to start talking to that person. That's the space where we are. We're not on Facebook for the most part, especially when we're talking about professional services. We're not so much on Facebook. So let's talk about LinkedIn. Let's say you have a list of companies you would love to work for, or you are looking at job classifieds, and you're seeing that, all these companies are looking for people at this moment. So go to their LinkedIn page and start following those companies. Then when you follow their company, you will see on here, you can see the pink box, that it tells you all the employees working for that company that are on LinkedIn. So you click there and you see the list. Look for the employees, look for the people with the title, manager, supervisor, CEO, president, HR. So people who have a job description that could most likely have a say in the hiring process. Once you do that, what you want to do, you want to send them a message. When you ask to be connected, to become a connection, just don't send a connection request without a message. Because I get a lot of people who want to connect with me, and unless I understand the logic why they want to connect with me, I don't accept them. So I would accept them if they are other people with tons of experience in the industry, and we share a lot of connections, then okay. But if you are someone who's starting in the business, you don't share a lot of connections, so send a short message explaining why you want to connect. Like, for example, hi, Jacob, I'm a recent graduate from FIU, and I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. I would love to connect with you. By the way, I've been reading a lot about your company, and I find it very interesting. And you said, so now as an employer, I understand why you want to connect with me. And by the way, I'm going to be impressed. When I get unsolicited messages from young professionals, students, I'm impressed, and I keep them in mind, believe it or not. So use email to send messages to the company employees. LinkedIn has the premium. You have the free version, and then you can upgrade to premium, which if you can afford to make that investment, please go ahead and do it, because you have amazing tools. Like, for example, email. You can it's like sending emails to these people, but also you can see who is viewing your profile, which, if you just send a request to somebody and that person look at your profile, that's a big deal, because you are dealing with people who are super busy, many CEOs and people in the business are overwhelmed. So if they took the time to look at your profile, you are on the right path. And then feel free to send messages to company employees. Hey, you know, I noticed there's an opening in your company. I'm very interested. You know, could I set up a call with you and talk a little bit about, you know, what I need to do to be well prepared for an interview, or can you tell me a little bit more about your role? And so feel free to be proactive. I want to use the word aggressive, but in a positive way. Just be proactive, just go for it. Another thing, write relevant. So now you have your LinkedIn page, write relevant post on your LinkedIn page. Post about the industry. Let's say you are applying for a job as a forensic accountant. So look for curate articles that add information about the industry. So when I'm looking to hire you, I'm going to go to your LinkedIn and I'm going to say, wow, this person has been following the industry. This person has been writing his own, you know, maybe articles on Facebook, on LinkedIn about, I'm going to be impressed. Keep your profile up to date. That's important. Please have a photo. A lot of people don't put a photo, a profile, a picture, and make sure to dress the part for the picture. For example, if you're looking for a professional job working for a law firm, or, you know, dress the part. If you're a man, you know, a tie or a nice jacket. If you're a woman, you know, something conservative, the kind of dress people will wear for in an office. But of course, if you're applying for a position at the zoo as a zookeeper, you want to, you know, have something a little bit more informal. So dress the part. Then you have a portion that's a summary. The summary is very important. The summary is going to tell me your experience, but if you are just graduating from school, you may not have a lot of experience. So tell me about your education. But what is key is when you're looking for a job, you're reading tons of job descriptions. Go ahead and take some of the keywords from the job description and make them your own skills. So if a job description says we're looking for someone who is self-started, can work independently, knows how to use Excel, Word, and whatever more, just take that and put it on your summary. Because many employers, what they do is they Google keywords to see who is going to come up, to see the different pages. And then you want your page to show up when that employer is looking for someone who can, you know, use Excel, to be independent, you know, whatever. Interact with the company posts. Again, if you like to work for Amazon, go to their page, and when they post something, just comment on the post like, oh, this is very interesting, thank you for sharing. Or if somebody was promoted, congratulations, Mary, on your promotion. This is a great company to work for. So interact, because you want people in that company, especially if it is a small business, if it is a small company, they're going to see your name. So you're going to have name recognition. You're going to be top of mind with them. And when they're looking for someone, and they see your resume, they're going to say, oh yeah, John Smith, he's always commenting. He apparently is into our company. Let's give him a chance. So that's very important. And you need to be top of mind with those companies that you want to either apply for a job, or you want to work for them maybe in the long term.
So another great tool that LinkedIn has is that you can apply for jobs directly from the social media platform. So you followed the company page, you're interacting with their employees, head back to the company's LinkedIn page. They'll have a list of all of the jobs that they have active applications for on LinkedIn. What you're going to want to do is learn more about the role, the compensation, the qualifications. And this is a good point to bring back again what Paula was talking about. Look at the keywords that they're using. So not only using them in your LinkedIn profile, but then using those keywords as well in your resume. So you should tailor your resume to each of the job postings. They put a lot of time into posting these jobs online. A lot of times the descriptions will be very long, and they've done that purposefully because it's exactly what they're looking for. So definitely keep that in mind. You can also see similar jobs if you scroll all the way to the bottom. And that's going to give you an opportunity to see jobs that maybe have similar qualifications and skills that are required from companies that you may not have known about in the area. So it's another great time to go back and just do the process over again, follow those companies on LinkedIn, engage with their employees, and then apply for those jobs to them as well. And then also another great way that you can build your professional brand is actually by using Twitter. So you can have a professional Twitter where you can share things that you find interesting in your field, but also follow the industry leaders in companies. So you can see there's a common theme here. It's engagement. You want to be engaging with the companies, engaging with the employees. And a lot of times they're going to be talking about what's trending in their area of interest. Join in on those conversations, use the hashtags that they're using, share your thoughts, whether it's directly on their post or in your own tweet. And then that way you'll be showing up in their feed and in the content that they're looking at as well. This is also a great way that you can post bite-sized pieces of your portfolio. So if you're a writer and you write articles, share the articles that you've written. If you're a photographer, you can share photos that you've taken to boost your work, and make sure that you're using those relevant hashtags so that when you are sharing your portfolio, they're falling in front of the right eyes. And then also with Facebook, it's not something that you would necessarily think of when it comes to expanding your professional network, but there are a lot of very active groups on Facebook for people in a specific industry or for a specific topic area. So again, engagement is key. You're going to want to interact with the other users and their posts. You're going to want to create and share your own original content or relevant articles, and just stay on top of what they're talking about. So you want to be engaging in a meaningful way. It's a great opportunity to develop your skills and also learn something new. So if you see something is being talked about a lot that you may not know about, take the time to learn about that so you can engage with them there as well. So then now that we've talked about creating your professional brand, we're going to talk about how to create your personal brand to stand out from the competition.
Yes, and this goes to, again, the employer wants to see the person behind the professional. So let your personality shine. Share personal posts about your family, your friends, pets, and interests. Again, if you want to work for the zoo, it would be amazing if you have tons of pictures about pets. If you want to work, in a law firm or accounting, we want to know that you are a people person in a way. Having pictures of your family tells me that you are like you're out there. You like to talk. You're open-minded. And that is important because in today's workplace, we do a lot of collaboration, a lot of teamwork. So we want to make sure that this is a person that is open. Again, we go back to the tone of your post. And then exhibit your creativity. Very important. You always have to ask yourself, what do I bring to the table? When I apply for this job, what do I bring to the table? Remember, I'm hiring you because I want you to make my business better. What can you bring to me? So I want to see that you're creative, you have ideas, because that's what we need. We need people with ideas who come to us and say, we know we do things this way, but maybe we can do it this other way and we can get better results. And most employers would love that. Create a secondary page for your business and passions. Many of you probably are doing some freelance work in your area of expertise. Maybe you started doing some work before graduating, finishing college. It could be in photography, it could be writing, editing, whatever your industry is. Some of you have already done some freelance work. So create a page and let me know that you already have experience, that maybe you were not hired by somebody, you don't have the kind of experience like, oh, what was your previous job? But you were doing something, and what you were doing is worth something. So put it on the records, let me see what you have been doing to build your skills. And Courtney, I love the presentation you put here, that you put together, because you can really visualize what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so some examples that we have here, someone who's an interior designer, but they also bake in their off time and they sell those cookies. So even though baking and, necessarily making cookies wouldn't, you don't think, oh, interior designer baking, but it exhibits her creativity and it gives you a visual look at, wow, this is that she's capable of doing in a different medium. Imagine what she can do on the job. So it's kind of like a living portfolio almost, that you're constantly posting what you're doing and exhibiting those skills. And it's something you can totally include in a resume too, include your social media handles that you've worked so hard on. And another example down at the bottom is somebody who's running an Etsy shop on the side, as a side hustle. Definitely include that as well, because it really shows that she's committed, she's working hard, and you can see examples of the work that she does as well.
So this really tells me you're being proactive, that you're a proactive person. And even though I may be looking for someone to do public relations and it has nothing to do with baking, but the fact that you took it upon yourself to create a page and show me what you have been doing, it has a lot of value.
What's wrong with this thing, Rome?
So then also with Facebook, presentation, something that with Facebook, a good tip that you can use is, if you don't necessarily want to use your personal Facebook, you can always create a business Facebook. And it's actually a really useful tool, because then you get more information on who's seeing your post, what the engagement is like, and it provides you more insights onto how your content is doing. So you can see I've provided mine as an example, but I have my job title in the middle, and then on going around it, my personal interests. So right away, as soon as you go to that page, you're getting a snapshot of who I am as a person. And then there you can share a combination of your personal interests as well as your professional clips. So if you're, photographer, again, sharing your photography images. If you're writing, sharing your writing samples, and that would all be together on that one feed. If that's not something that interests you, that's totally fine as well, but make sure that you're optimizing your personal Facebook. So we have a great example here from Paula. She's fully optimized her intro section on Facebook. It's the first thing you see on the left-hand side of the screen when you open it up. Right from the beginning, you have a short sentence that tells you exactly who she is. You can see all of her previous jobs and you can see her education. So then right away, this is what they're qualified in. Here's where they've studied, and you get a good look at the person right away. So then the next thing that we're going to be talking about is how to refine your profiles.
Yeah, this is very important. You already have Facebook, Instagram, and I, as an employer, I'm gonna ask you when I call you and I say, hey, I like your resume, let's have a meeting, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm most likely gonna say, I wanna access your Facebook page, you have LinkedIn, I wanna access your LinkedIn, I wanna access your Instagram, and you're gonna give me access right away. Because if you don't, that really sends a message. So what we suggest you do before you're even asked for access is to conduct an audit of your social media. If you have been posting things that are negative or unprofessional, go ahead and delete them right away. Make sure your social media sends the right message. Because even if your profile is private, people will find it. They may not find it today when they hire you, but they may find it like a month or 2 months from now, and your position is going to be terminated. So this is very important. Employers take social media very seriously for many reasons. One is, if we hire someone who had a troubled, we're posting things that were negative and we are not aware of it, and then something happened at work and people can say, well, you should have known because that person has been posting about that, then we are liable. We can get sued. for not doing the right due diligence. So we take social media really seriously. So go ahead, do an audit, look at, you know, what you have been posting. If you feel like, well, I don't know, I'm not sure what is good, what is bad, you know, maybe you have a friend, somebody who maybe works at the company you're looking at, or does the type of business work that you want to do, who can be objective and say, well, if I were you, I would remove this, I would remove that. Maybe your parents can help you. Try to have an outside person review your social media and delete whatever that person say. You know, I think this is inappropriate, or this, you know, this is not really good. Make sure you know, if, again, your social media, your Facebook may be private, but if you're very proud of some of your posts, and you know, you want your future employer to see it, go ahead and make that public. But again, you know, even if most of your posts are private, sooner or later, you know, we'll get to it.
And then we also want to talk about the importance of turning on notifications. So this is a great tool that you can use to kind of remind yourself. So you turn on the post notifications for the businesses or the employees, and it'll send you an automatic reminder when they post. And you don't have to comment right away, but it's a good reminder to go and interact with them. So it'll kind of prompt you to stay engaged. Another great tool on LinkedIn with the job seeking is that you can set up notifications for when businesses post jobs, either with a certain job description or in a certain area. So we have the example here, you know, you've typed in account executive, Miami, and then when all of the results show up, there's a little toggle at the top that says job alerts off or on. Make sure to turn them on, and then you can get the notifications either as a LinkedIn notification, as an email, or both. Obviously, I would set them as both so that you don't miss them either via email or via notification. And then that way you can be some of the first to apply when a new job is posted.
So overall, looking for a job is a full-time job. And now you are lucky, you're fortunate to have social media. You know, back in my days, we didn't have social media and calling people to say, hey, CEO of the company, you know, that wasn't very good. So take advantage of social media, be proactive, you know, ask and you shall receive. If you don't go to people, you don't say, hey, are you hiring? Hey, I love your company. I'd like to work for your company in the future. Can we get together? Just, you know, be there, be consistent, be persistent. But don't harass people, right? I mean, we want people to know that you're interested, but do it, you know, in a moderate way. And you know, with the internet, you could be applying for jobs in Asia, you know, in Latin America, anywhere, especially now that people can work from home. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, and so we've included our contact information here. If you land a job using any tips from this presentation, or if you're looking for an internship, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we even have a YouTube channel as well. So we'd love to stay connected with you guys.
Thank you both so very much. A lot of takeaways here. This is really good info. We did get a lot of really good questions from the audience throughout the presentation. One is, what do you do when someone's social media account is set to private and you can't review it?
Paula, I think this is a good question for you. We've actually gone through hiring processes before.
Yeah, so we ask if we're interviewing someone, the first interview usually is over the phone. We say, hey, we received resume, we like it. Come over and meet with us. And then when we talk, we said, you know, we would like to have access to your social media, you know, like that. You know, can you, you know, accept me as, you know, as a connection on LinkedIn, as a friend on Facebook, and that's it. So you have to accept us if you want the job. And if you don't accept us because your content is not whatever, then that's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Ingrid asks, do you have suggestions for how to enter into more conversation with someone, say a potential client? that just accepted you via LinkedIn?
Oh, a client, a prospective
Yeah,
client?
prospective client on LinkedIn.
Sure, absolutely. Let that person know that you admire what they do, that you find their mission, or because obviously by now you have researched the company, you know what they do, you know why you like them, and let them know I like your company very much. This is the type of service I provide. If you like to have get a proposal, or have a chat on how we could help your business, uh, you know let me know. I'm available. You don't hear back from that person, I will follow up the following month. But in the meantime, I would definitely be commenting on that company's posts. If somebody's promoted, you just need to be top of mind with them, right? That's the name of our company, but really that's what you need to do. You need to make sure that that company sees that you care about what they're doing, you're commenting, and then next month say, hey, or 2 months pass by, and hey, if you're, because somebody may not need your services today, but that person may need your service, may say, oh no, I just hired somebody to do that, or, but that relationship may not work out. So you just want to be there. Don't be too pushy, just be there.
Jimmy asks, he says, I have a startup that supports local restaurants and businesses called Walk and Grub. Since I'm an entrepreneur, I manage all of our social media pages and do the marketing. Are there any tips that you might have to help grow and manage our online social media presence without spending a lot of money?
So I think that's a really great question. I do think that it's important to know, especially now, you have to be putting at least a little bit of money into your social media presence as a business, because organic reach just doesn't go that far anymore. They really prioritize people who are boosting their posts and creating ads. But with that being said, one of the best things that you can do is to join groups, especially on Facebook. So you're going to want to join groups in your local area. There's groups for Miami, Fort Lauderdale, specific groups for specific interests within Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and share your posts and share your content. Also keep an eye out for posts that are relevant. So if someone's talking about food or looking for a restaurant recommendation, that's a great chance to organically plug your business and just say, hey, we offer this, check out our website. So definitely try to go to where your customers would be.
And something that I'm sure you're already doing are contests, right? Like, share these posts, whatever, and you enter to win like a 20% discount to eat at, I don't know, Christie's restaurant or something. Obviously, the restaurants are going to have to come up with some discounts. Everybody loves discounts. Yeah. And that is a good way to spread the word.
Great. Ariana asks, are there any apps that you can use to make an audit?
I'm sure that those exist, but I think the best thing that you can do is go through by hand so that you're making sure that you capture everything. You can use the search bar to search your name and specific words if you're concerned that maybe in your past you've used curse words on your page or something like that. So you can single those posts out. But I would specifically go through by hand and clean it up so you're sure that you're catching everything.
Sammy asks, as far as hashtags, what is an appropriate amount per tweet or post? I'm weary of adding too many hashtags to a post.
Definitely makes sense. There's definitely a thing of hashtag fatigue. For Instagram, something where you can separate the hashtags from the main body of your post by a couple of dots or periods, I would say max out your hashtags. So that's going to be 30 hashtags per post that you're allowed to use. But for something like Twitter, where you're limited on characters and space, maximum 2 to 3 hashtags per post. But you can also always feel free to recycle content too. If it becomes relevant again under a new hashtag, totally reuse your content.
Great. Carolyn asks, can you provide any suggestions for how people can get beyond perfectionism and analysis paralysis to start publishing on LinkedIn? Like if someone wants to, but is afraid their writing or idea isn't good enough?
That's a great question. the answer is start small. Don't publish something that is 1,000 words. Just start small. You can take articles that you read in trade publications and just write a piece commenting on that article. So you're safe because you're going to be taking some of that information from the article. And start small, really. It's better to start small than not start at all because you're paralyzed at what you're going to do. And that happens to all of us. And I have to remind me, every day, like, start small. But the best way is just, take an article, or, you don't have to start from scratch, because when you start from scratch, you have more chances of maybe saying something that is not completely accurate. And people will know when they look at your profile that you're not a thought leader just yet. So they're not going to judge your writing as if you were someone who is already established in the industry. So just relax. And if you really want to do something, if you want to write an article, it's going to happen and it's going to come out all right. You just need to trust yourself.
And kind of going off of what you said, Paula, we definitely would prefer to see somebody who has 4 or 5 not completely perfect articles published versus nothing at all. It definitely shows that you're at least taking the effort and making the step forward to have meaningful content.
Just make sure the writing is good, no typos, no spelling mistakes. That's pretty much what we look at.
It's surprising how often that happens, and people either don't proofread or don't have a system to proofread their things for them. It's so important, right? Another question is, what internships do you all have available? Where can they be found? I think you mentioned it in your last slide, but can you just put more info out for those that are interested?
Yeah, so you can email us, info@topofmind-pr.com. So info@topofmind-pr.com. And we can definitely chat about what internships are available. Paula, if you want to.
Actually, Courtney, that's how you started, right? We were giving you credit for a class.
Yeah, I started with Paula my last semester at UF for college credit. And here I am 3 years later.
So we look, we are a public relations agency, right? So what we do is we get our clients in magazines, newspapers, TV. So we need usually interns to do research for us. So reach out to us, tell us where, a little bit about you, where your skills are, and then we can figure out how we can, create a position for you. So we're constantly hiring interns, but we do, we like to see what people are good at, and then we create a position for that person. So that's kind of the way we work.
That's very unique. That's very cool.
Very unique. You would think that more companies would do that, right? But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Maria Eugenia asks, hi, thank you for sharing all these great tips. If your Facebook is very old and you haven't used it in a long time, do you recommend going back and deleting old posts to make it more professional, or starting over with a new account?
Do you want to go, Paula?
I mean, I would start posting, if you start posting now, do regularly, and it's going to show that, now you graduated, or you're finishing college, or you start, so it's like a new chapter in your life, and that's okay. That's okay. It's a new chapter, but now be consistent.
Yeah.
And produce nice posts.
And if your Facebook is very, very old, it might be a good idea to start fresh. But I would still go back and clean up the old Facebook, because you never know who's going to come across that, or at least deactivate it and make sure it's completely shut down.
Cool. Nicole says, thank you for sharing. What did you study in your undergraduate and graduate years? The question is for Paula at FIU. What did you study?
Sure. I studied print journalism in the North Campus. Mass communications, and then I did a lot of internships. That's how really got me my first jobs. At the Herald, at the Sun Sentinel. It was really the experience.
And as PR professionals, what interests do you all personally have that kind of filters into your workflow, whether it be sports or politics or whatever?
Well, I have a passion for helping business grow. That's my passion. I don't really do sports. I love reading, I love research, and those are skills that have helped me, grow the company because, again, just like you have to make yourself different for employers, I need to make myself different for clients, who are going to hire me. So I would say in my turn has been, hard work, dedication, answering emails, being responsive to the clients, uh, and always showing what I can bring to the table, right? Why I'm different, why my PR company is different than the company, next to me. So if you are bilingual, make sure people know you are bilingual. You're not only bilingual, you may also be bicultural. So try to show, and I think that's kind of what has helped us grow the business, right? Responsiveness, we care, you have to care. Just like you care a lot about your family and you care a lot about your car or a lot about your bike, you have to show that you care about your clients and about their business.
Yeah. And I think I've always gravitated to more creative things. So I played piano from kindergarten and I like to sew and things like that. So, social media kind of falls naturally into that. It's a good creative outlet and it's, it helps you to stand out if you're being creative. And also I'm a little bit of a plant mom and each plant requires individualized care and attention. They all have different needs. And it's the same thing with managing client accounts. They're all different. Everybody needs a different style of communication or management. And I think that those two things, you wouldn't think about them going well together, but they do.
But you know what, if you're into sports, like I was saying earlier, nowadays, it is required a lot of collaboration, being a team player. So if you're into sports, that's awesome because you already know how to, relate with your coworkers, your attitude. You have to have really control your attitude most of the time, because you're not alone. You're not in a cubicle anymore all by yourself.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you both so very much. We only have 1 minute left, no more questions, so we'll cut it off there. And I want to remind everyone that these presentations are going to be available for you afterwards. So if you feel you missed anything from the slides that Paula and Courtney presented, no worries, you'll have it. So I encourage you all to hop off, take a good 15-minute break, and join us for our lunch, for our session 2 at 12. So we'll see all of you then. Thank you again, Paula and Courtney, very much.
Thank you for having us.